Hi, my name's Aritz Martin. I made the Rollerball beginner tutorial from Unity. This is the main scene of the game, and as we can see there are a bunch of game objects here. I'm gonna explain them all. First, I have added ground. This component. We can add the ground like using the game object tab in the menu, and add the plane. This plane already has a mesh collider, so it has already a collider and a mesh renderer that renders the 3D model. It also has a transform like all the other game objects, where we can change the position, the rotation, and the scale. I have scaled it to fit well in the scene, and position it to fit well also. Then I have added the player, just adding like 3D object sphere, and it also has a sphere collider that fits all the sphere, a mesh renderer, and some other things that I'm going to explain later. To make the player don't fall from the ground, I have added an empty game object called walls, like this. Create empty and change the name to walls here. And then I have added like a cube from here, 3D cube, and then I have resized it to fit well in the ground. This game object also has a box collider to collide with the player so that it didn't fall, and I have created 4 all around the game area. And now, to give functionality to the player, what I've done is add a rigid body to make the player use physics, and it uses gravity, so it can fall to the ground. And then I have added like a player controller that we are going to see now. We enter the scripts folder, player controller, and we go straight to the code. First of all, I used the fixed update instead of update, because the fixed update is for the physics code. And here I have these lines to take the input of the user with the keys in the keyboard, and with the input of horizontal and the input of vertical, I have created 3D vector using those 2 floats. And in the y-axis we don't need it, because the ball only moves horizontal or vertical, and not it doesn't move up the y-axis. And then just get the reference to the rigid body here. With that we can access this rigid body. And then in the start, when the game starts, it picks the rigid body reference. And then here I add a force with the movement and the player speed. The player speed is the speed that we want to give to our player. And as it's a public float, it appears also in the inspector, player speed. Here we can change the speed to 13 to wherever we want, writing with the keyboard. With this we can make the ball move like this. If I press W, it moves around. And as we have added colliders to the walls, and it doesn't fail, and it doesn't trespass the walls, and it also stays in the floor, because the floor has colliders. After this, we have to check the camera. I have made a camera control because we want the camera to follow the player. Now let's check the code. The code that I added is simple. We need an offset and the player reference. To reference the player, just we put a game object, public game object, so that we can have it here, and simply just dropping the player here, we'll have the reference in the script. So when it starts, the variable offset gets the value of the transform position of the camera, the position of the camera, minus the player's position. So we have the reference of the offset here, and then in the late update, when with the physics code, we just position the camera in the player's position plus the offset we have. So as we can see in play mode, we can move around the ball and the camera follows the the player. After this, we have added like pickups. I created an empty object pickups, and then I have put inside these ones. I have added a cube, and to look nicer, I have rotated it like 45 degrees in all the axes, and then resize it a little bit until it fits well with the game. And the color, it's another new thing. I have added a material folder. Here I have added like this, create new materials. And then the only thing that these materials have is in the albedo, I have changed the color to blue and yellow. So to add these materials, for example to the ground, I have added this background. So you only have to drag it here, and the object takes the material. Also with the pickup is the same. It takes the yellow material. After this, as we can see, the pickups have also a box collider to interact with the player. After this, I have created a little bit of movement in the pickups so they look nicer. And to add this behavior, I have added like a rotator script that we are going to see now. What this does, it's in the update, because it doesn't interfere in the physics, so we only make the transform of the object, this component. We change the rotation of that component to 15, 30, 45, and we multiply it to time delta time, that is the current time in the game, so it makes it smoother. And if we look now in the game, we can see the objects rotating smoothly. After this, what we needed is that the player could pick them, so we program this in the player controller. So in the player controller, we have used a void called onTriggerEnter that triggers whenever the player collides with a collider that is triggered. So here we check if the other game object that we collide on, this is the reference to the object we collide with, if that object's tag is pickup, we can see here the pickup, the tag, we can change the tags here, pickup tag, we make something. And what do we make? We set active to false, so that the pickup becomes invisible. And with this, we can try the game. You pick the object and the object disappears. What else do we want? Just a UI element to keep the counting of all the points we earn. And how we do that? With a canvas. We can add a UI element text, and it also adds a canvas that is where all the UI elements are. And we have added two, score text and win text. So score text keeps the counting, and win text is like a win text that shows up when you collect all of the cubes. So what did we do? Just in the player controller script, we have created two variables of text, public text, for the count text and for the win text. To reference them is like the previous one. As they are public, we have here the references, and just drag and drop here the elements. So what did we do? Just create also int to keep the count. So what we do when the game starts, we set it to 0, and we send count text, a new function. We make this function to set the count text. What we do is set the text of this component. Here is the text to count plus the count variable to string. And if it's 9 equals or more than 9, we put the win text. So if we collect them all, you win. And that's it. So what do we do? On trigger, enter. When the pickup, when the collider is tag is pickup, we just plus the count and then set the count text. So as we can see in the game, when we get one object, the count grows up. So if we pick them all, it will show a win text in the middle of the screen. Let me wait. You win. And now to finally, I can show you how to build the game. This is the building settings. You can change the player settings. Here you can change the icon, the name, everything related with the build. And here you can change the platform to Android, to WebGL, wherever you want. There are a bunch of different platforms, but we're gonna choose PC, and we're gonna choose build and run. First, we have to add the current scene, so we can build it. We can build it and call roll a ball, and it will be an X file. So now the game builds with all the resources, it compiles, and once the game is compiled, we can play it like a normal game in Windows. Now that the game is built, we can see here the graphics. We can change for different screen resolutions, the quality, the display. We can put it in window mode, and we also can change the input of horizontal and vertical. Now we can play. I will record it in window mode, and now we have our game already built. And that's all. Thank you.